today we are going to continue our last lecture. In the last lecture we have started with the chapter drugs regulating calcium homeostasis. Okay, so हमने पढ़ा था पैराथॉर्मोन के बारे में and we have read about the role of calcium in our body. Then we have seen this chart that how the parathormone and when the parathormone is secreted and what is its activity and what is the role of calcitonin. तो मैंने आपको बताया था कि पैराथॉर्मोन क्या करता है, इट डिक्रीजेस द लेवल ऑफ व्हेनेवर द अमाउंट ऑफ कैल्शियम इज लेस इन अवर ब्लड, then parathormone is secreted from the parathyroid gland which is located behind the thyroid gland, and that parathormone increases the level of calcium in the blood. Now how does it increases the level of calcium in the blood? That day I told you that by 2 or 3 processes. First of all, parathormone causes the resorption of the calcium from the bone. It increases the absorption of the calcium from the kidneys. Okay, and in all these activities, one of the vitamin, that is the calcitriol. Okay, calcitriol is the active form of vitamin D. It helps in the absorption of calcium. So you can say that parathormone and calcitriol are acting synergistically with each other, whereas calcitonin acts opposite to that of parathormone. Calcitonin कब secrete होता है? When the level of calcium is more in the blood. Whenever the level of calcium will be more or it will be higher in the blood, what will happen? There will be release of calcitonin from the C cells of thyroid gland, and these activate the osteoblast cell, which will cause the mineralization of the bones. So here you have to remember two things. One is your osteoclast and one is your osteoblast. Osteoclast is responsible for resorption of the bone. Resorption मतलब होता है removal of calcium from the bone, or you can say degradation of the bone, which can further lead to the osteoporosis. And this osteoblast, it is responsible for mineralization of the bone. Okay, so these are the parathyroid glands. These are the two superior parathyroid gland and these are the two inferior parathyroid glands. So we have read all these things. Now we go. Then I told you that the receptor is a G protein coupled receptor. Okay, so this all we have discussed. So parathormone हमारा complete हो गया था, and we have studied two formulations, that is cinacalcet and teriparatide. Okay, so what is cinacalcet? It activates the calcium sensing receptor and parathyroid gland and blocks the parathormone secretion. So basically cinacalcet is the drug which reduces the level of calcium in the blood if the person is suffering from hyperparathyroidism. Okay, so now today we will be studying the calcium in detail. Okay, we will be studying vitamin D, and also we will try to cover the biphosphonates. Okay, so first let me tell you once again something about the osteoclast. As I have told you that osteoclast, these structures which you can see, these are the osteoclast. You can see the shape of the osteoclast. It contains uneven border. You can see it here. इसका जो border होता है वो uneven होता है. Okay, and osteoclasts are also called as the bone eating cells, and they are derived from the monocytes. Okay, their function is similar to that of macrophages. They are actually eating away the bone. That is why their function is said to be similar to that of macrophages, and they are derived from the monocytes. Understood all of you? That day I have shown you one video in which you have seen that osteoclast is moving slowly over the bone and it is causing the degradation or removal of calcium from the bone. Now if you will see the composition of the osteoclast, it contains two parts. One is your organic part and the inorganic part. Okay, organic part mein the major thing is it, or you can remember it in a way that osteoclast contain the proteolytic enzymes and it also contains the acidic substance. Understood all of you? So these two things are responsible for the degradation of bone. What are the two things? One is your proteolytic enzyme and the second one is your acidic part which is present in the osteoclast. Okay, so now you can see it here. This is your osteoclast cell. Okay, it looks like an octopus. You can see it here. Now see how it is prepared. It is how it is made in our body from the these are the macrophages, and these are also called as the precursor cells. So there will be fusion of the precursor cell, or you can say there will be fusion of the macrophages, and this will result in the formation of giant cell, and this giant cell will undergo differentiation to form the osteoclast cells. Okay, now these are the osteoblast cell. Osteoblast cell are mainly responsible for the mineralization of bone, because osteoblasts are differentiated to form the osteocytes. Okay, the bone cells, they differentiate to form the bone cells. That is why it is said that osteoblast is responsible for mineralization of the bones. Okay, so now we will study about calcium. हमने last lecture में already पढ़ा था that what is the role of calcium in our body. Now there are certain some more points which you should know, and calcium is one of the most abundant body constituent. If you will see our body composition, calcium is responsible for 2% of our body weight, and 99% of calcium whatever present in our body, it is stored in our bones. Okay, apart from that, if you will see, the calcium is also present in other fluids also, and because all of us know that calcium is responsible for contractions. Okay, and everywhere contraction is required. Why contraction is required? For any kind of secretion or for transmission of any kind of impulses, you require calcium. So our body's weight, out of our total body weight, 2% is contributed by the calcium, and 99% of calcium is stored in our bones. Okay, now this is very important thing, that whatever calcium is present in our body, 40% is in bound form. Okay, 40% bound form में होता है, और किसके साथ bound form में होता है? Along with the albumin. All of you know albumin is the major protein which is present in our body, and majority of the drugs or whatever component is there, they are binding to the albumin. Okay, so for 40% of calcium is bound to albumin, and उसके बाद जो 10% होता है, it is also present in bound form with citrate, phosphate and carbonate. Okay, so if you will see in total 50% of calcium is present in bound form, जिसमें से 40% albumin के साथ bound होता है, और 10% citrate, phosphate and carbonate के साथ bound form में होता है, and it is the indissociable form. Okay, now जो 50% form होता है, 50% तो bound form में हो गया, और जो 50% है, it is present in the ionized form, and this ionized form of calcium is physiologically important. It is required for producing pharmacological action. Now this point is very important to remember, that acidosis favors the ionization of calcium. Okay, अगर acidosis है तो it will favor the ionization of calcium, and if it is alkalosis, it will disfavor the ionization. Now these are certain factors, okay, जो कि आपको पता होना चाहिए, which are responsible, or you can say which are affecting the resorption. So if you will see the left side, these are certain agents, certain drugs which increases the resorption of calcium, and these are certain agents which decrease the resorption of calcium. So what is the importance of this table? These agents, suppose करो, if you are taking these agents and you are already suffering from osteoporosis, then your bones will further become weak. Okay, because ये agents क्या करेंगे, जो resorption को increase कर रहे हैं, they will remove the calcium from the bone. Okay, and already in osteoporosis the level of calcium in your bone is less. Okay, and these are certain agents like biphosphonate, calcitonin, they decrease the eating away of bone. Okay, now if you will see the pharmacokinetic, then it is absorbed by facilitated diffusion from small intestine under the influence of vitamin D. Okay, after filtration it is reabsorbed. Only 1/3 of the dietary calcium is absorbed. Whatever we are eating, only 1/3 is reabsorbed, okay, in our body. Now these are the various preparations of calcium. Calcium chloride. Calcium chloride is a very highly irritating salt. Okay, it may cause tissue necrosis if it is given by the IMO. So ये आप देखोगे the second, third and fourth preparation, that is calcium gluconate, calcium lactate and calcium dibasic phosphate. These are widely used preparation. They, if you will see calcium gluconate, it can be given by parenteral as well as oral route. Calcium lactate is generally given orally, well tolerated drug. Calcium dibasic phosphate is used as an antacid also, and as a calcium supplement also, and calcium carbonate is used as an antacid. So out of these preparation, calcium chloride एक ऐसा agent है which is mostly irritating salt. Okay. Otherwise all these preparations are used as a calcium supplement, and calcium carbonate is used as a antacid. Okay, so what is the major adverse effect of calcium salt? Constipation and bloating. All of you know calcium is required for contraction. So if the level of calcium is less, the peristaltic movement will not be proper, and as a result it will lead to constipation. Okay, now what are the use of these calcium salt? Where they are used directly? Okay, so for immediate treatment of severe tetany. Tetany is a condition in which there is an involuntary muscle contraction, and it basically occurs due to electrolyte imbalance. Okay, so tetany is the involuntary muscle contraction, and it occurs basically due to electrolyte imbalance. Now the imbalance may be of potassium ions or calcium ions or magnesium ions, or maybe due to severe acidosis or alkalosis. Any of these conditions may lead to involuntary muscle contraction, which is called as tetany. So if you have to treat tetany, for immediate treatment you have to take an injection of calcium gluconate. Okay, and then you have to continue this treatment for a period of 6 hours. पहले आपको immediately देना है, and then you have to inject it slowly by slow IV infusion during or you can say for a duration of approximately 6 hours till the tetany condition is not completely reversed. Okay, आपको कब तक देना है? जब तक वो पेशेंट का जो इनवॉलेंट्री कॉन्ट्रैक्शन था वो completely reverse नहीं हो जाता. Till that you have to give this calcium gluconate injection. Apart from giving this calcium gluconate injection, you have to give supportive therapy, supportive oxygen and fluid replacement therapy भी आपको देना है. अगर mild case है, ओके अगर किसी एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया की मसल में इनवॉलेंट्री कॉन्ट्रैक्शन है, और इफ यू कैन से दैट इफ द टेटनी इज रेस्ट्रिक्टेड टू पर्टिकुलर एरिया, देन यू कैन give this preparation by oral route. But if it is severe case, then you have to give IV, and then you have to maintain the treatment for 6 hours at least, or till the person is not completely relieved, and then you can after that you can go for oral therapy also. And along with these treatment, you have to give the oxygen inhalation and IV fluid also. As a dietary supplement, all of you know calcium is required for growth, and the demand of calcium increases in growing children and pregnant, lactating and menopausal women. All of you know that because the children are growing, they require more calcium. Pregnant women and lactating women, for the production of milk, more calcium is required. But if a woman is a menopausal woman, then there is a severe hormonal imbalance during this stage, and as a result the bones are becoming very weak. Okay, so you can give it as a dietary supplement in menopausal women. So this is the chart you can refer. For children 1 to 10 years of age, 0.8 to 1.2 gram. Young adult, pregnant and lactating women, 1.2 to 1.5 gram. Okay, men 25 to 65 years, women 25 to 50 years, up to 65 1 gram. Women 51 to 65 years not taking HRT. People above 65 years of age, 1.5 gram. So 0.8 to 1.5 gram is the dietary supplement which you have to give. Children 1 to 10 years up to 1.2, and above 65 or above 50 you can say 1.5 gram. Third treatment, as I told you, osteoporosis. If the woman is generally the menopausal woman, okay, जिनको menopause हो जाता है, they suffer from this problem, osteoporosis. So if there is osteoporosis, you have to give this combination. Okay, HRT, raloxifene, alendronate, calcium plus vitamin D3 as an adjuvant is given. कैल्शियम और विटामिन D3 हम लोग कैसे देते हैं? एज अ एडजुवेंट, एज अ एड ऑन थेरेपी in the treatment of osteoporosis. Calcium gluconate in paresthesias and weakness it is given, and as a antacid. So this is about the role of calcium. So this you have to remember. Okay. Now tetany, dietary supplement, osteoporosis, particularly in menopausal women, paresthesia, general weakness. Okay, if the person is very weak, then also the calcium gluconate injection is given. Antacids, as antacid we have just read calcium dibasic phosphate and calcium carbonate, you can give it as a supplement. Next agent, which is responsible for regulating the calcium homeostasis in our blood is calcitonin. Now I have just given you a brief introduction in last lecture also, that calcitonin acts opposite to that of parathormone. Parathormone कब secrete होता है? When the level of calcium is less. Calcitonin कब secrete होता है? When the level of calcium is very high. Then we have to reduce that level of calcium, and to reduce that level of calcium we are using calcitonin. Okay, it is a hypocalcemic hormone. It means it decreases the level of calcium. It was discovered by Kopp, and it is a single amino acid chain polypeptide containing 32 amino acids. As I have told you, it is produced by the parafollicular cells or C cells of the thyroid gland, and molecular weight is 3600. Now जैसे हमने पहले पढ़ा है कि पैराथॉर्मोन और पैराथॉर्मोन का जो सिक्रीशन होता है, it is how it is regulated. It is regulated by the level of calcium in the blood. पैराथॉर्मोन का सिक्रीशन किस पे डिपेंड करता है कि हमारे ब्लड में कैल्शियम का लेवल कितना है. इन द सेम वे कैल्सिटोनिन का भी जो सिक्रीशन होता है, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द लेवल ऑफ कैल्शियम इन अवर ब्लड. अगर कैल्शियम का लेवल हमारे ब्लड में ज्यादा है तभी कैल्सिटोनिन रिलीज होगा. ओके, नाउ सी इट इज मेंशन्ड हियर that increase in the plasma calcium level. अगर कैल्शियम लेवल ज्यादा होगा तो कैल्सिटोनिन का लेवल भी इंक्रीज होगा. If the plasma calcium level is less, then the calcitonin level will also be less in our blood. The T half time of calcitonin is 10 minutes, and this I have already explained you that the action of PTH is opposite to that of calcitonin. Now let's come to the mechanism of action. Just now we discussed that calcitonin is a hypocalcemic hormone. It has to reduce the level of calcium in our blood. So how it is reducing the level of calcium? By inhibiting the bone resorption. Okay, now हमारे blood में calcium क्यों increase होता है? What are the different reasons? सबसे पहला reason था, हमने पढ़ा अभी तक, जो कि bone resorption. If there is removal of calcium from the bone, then the level of calcium in the blood will increase. Second, we have discussed that if there is increased reabsorption of calcium from the kidneys, then also that is going to come into blood, and that is going to increase the level of calcium in our blood. Okay, so these, अगर आप इन दोनों चीजों को रोक दो, if you decrease the absorption or if you decrease the resorption of bone, automatically the level of calcium will go down. See, you can see it here. They inhibit the bone resorption. So अगर आप if the bone resorption will not be there, the calcium will not be released into blood, and as a result the level of calcium will go down. Okay, now how the calcitonin is reducing the resorption. So all of you know, for resorption करने के लिए who is responsible? Resorption is what? It is the removal of calcium from the bone. Okay, so resorption करने के लिए कौन responsible है? Osteoclast is responsible. So if you have to decrease or prevent the resorption, you will have to stop the activity of osteoclast. So calcitonin is preventing the resorption or inhibiting the resorption by inhibiting the osteoclast activity. Because basically the resorption is done by the it is done by osteoclast. तो ये क्या करते हैं calcitonin? वो osteoclast की activity को reduce करते हैं. Okay, so as a result the resorption is inhibited. Next है, they inhibit the reabsorption of calcium and phosphate from kidney also, as I have told you. An action of calcitonin, yes, calcitonin, all of you know that all these agents, they act through receptors. So calcitonin also acts through a receptor, and its action is mediated through G protein coupled receptor, which we have already read. Okay, almost all the hormones till now what we have read, they almost all receptors are G protein coupled receptor except the growth hormone. Okay, now what is the use of calcitonin? Calcitonin आप कब use करोगे? When there will be hypercalcemia, whenever the level of calcium will be more in blood, or whenever the parathormone secretion is more. Suppose there is a person and the person is suffering from hyperparathyroidism, or the person is having a tumor in the parathyroid gland, then obviously the level of parathormone will be more. और अगर पैराथॉर्मोन का लेवल ज्यादा होगा तो कैल्शियम का लेवल ऑटोमेटिकली ज्यादा होगा. ओके, hypervitaminosis D. What is hypervitaminosis D? As I have told you that vitamin D is the calcitriol, which is the active form of vitamin D, is responsible for absorption of calcium. So if there is a person and the person is suffering from or the person is having excessive amount of vitamin D, then what will happen? The same thing will happen. The absorption of calcium will be more. So in case of hypervitaminosis D, you can use it to reduce the level of calcium. Next, postmenopausal osteoporosis. As we have discussed now कि calcitonin it is useful. Why it is useful in osteoporosis? Because calcitonin क्या करता है? Blood का calcium level कम करता है by the process of resorption. Okay, so it do not allow the destruction of the bone or degradation of the bone. But in case of postmenopausal osteoporosis, it is given in the form of nasal spray. Next is the Paget's disease. Biphosphonates are the first choice drug. Now, what is Paget's disease? Paget's disease is a disease. All of you know, whenever a bone or any of our organ grows old, the cells are replaced by the new cells. Okay. Paget's disease में क्या होता है? Basically, you can say that the old cells are not replaced by the new cells. Are you getting? There is a problem that due to that problem, the old cells, the old worn out cells are not replaced by the new cells. So as a result, what will happen? जो old cell है वो replace नहीं होंगे, तो क्या होगा? जो old cells है वो destroy हो जाएंगे. Okay, the bones will become very weak. So that is called as the Paget's disease. Okay, so Paget's disease में you can give calcitonin also, and you can also give biphosphonate. Biphosphonates are the first choice drug. Okay, now Paget's disease जो होता है ना, it mainly what are the various locations, or you can say which bones are mainly affected, is the skull, spine, legs and pelvis. Skull, spine, legs and pelvis are the bones which are affected by the Paget's disease. And the fifth one, diagnosis of medullary carcinoma of thyroid hormone. Okay, now the next component is vitamin D, which is also playing a very important role in maintaining the calcium homeostasis. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is also known as anti-rachitic substance. Why it is called as anti-rachitic substance? Because all of you know that अगर vitamin D की कमी होती है, it causes rickets. Okay, so this is a anti-rachitic substance. It is synthesized in the body and activated by UV rays. All of you know that vitamin D is synthesized in our body by the action of ultraviolet radiations. And vitamin D जो होता है, it is basically of three types: D3, D2 and D1. D3 is called as cholecalciferol. Okay, D2 is called as calciferol. It is found in yeast, fungi, milk, irradiated food. And D1 is a mixture of anti-rachitic substance. So vitamin D1 is a combination of many anti-rachitic substance or many substances which prevent the occurrence of rickets. Vitamin D, okay. Now vitamin D, why we are studying it as a hormone? Because many of the characteristics of vitamin D is similar to that of the hormone. First of all, they are synthesized in body under ideal condition. हमने already पढ़ा है, the secretion of endocrine gland is called as hormone. Okay, hormone कब release होते हैं? Whenever they are required. In the same way, vitamin D is synthesized in our body when the conditions are ideal. Okay, they are not required to be taken in diet. They are transported by blood. So these characteristics are similar to that of hormone. Okay, these three characteristics. That is why vitamin D is also considered as a hormone. Okay, how it is regulated? Again the same thing, the level of calcium. So whether it is your parathormone, whether it is your calcitonin, whether it is your vitamin D, all these things, they are secreted and their secretion is increased or inhibited on the basis of level of calcium in our blood. Okay, so what is their action, or you can say pharmacological action? They enhance the absorption of calcium and phosphate from the intestine. So vitamin D is called, its active form is calcitriol. इसका function क्या है? It increases the absorption of calcium. From where? From intestine. How it increases the absorption of calcium from intestine? These are the reasons which are mentioned here. First of all, it increases the synthesis of calcium channel. Okay, ये क्या करता है सेल्स के ऊपर, इट इंक्रीजेस द सिंथेसिस ऑफ नंबर ऑफ कैल्शियम चैनल, एज अ रिजल्ट द एंट्री ऑफ कैल्शियम विल इंक्रीज. नेक्स्ट, एक्टिवेशन ऑफ कैरियर प्रोटीन विच ट्रांसपोर्ट्स कैल्शियम. It has to increase the level of calcium, so first of all it will increase the number of channels. Okay, it will increase the activate the proteins which are responsible for transport of calcium. Okay, they are also responsible. Vitamin D binds to the receptor, goes inside the nucleus, and it is also responsible for inducing the transcription and translation process, and finally the synthesis of protein. They also promote the reabsorption of calcium and phosphate from the kidney. Okay, so these are the major actions of calcium. Understood all of you? Next, one more thing is remaining, is that they enhance the absorption of calcium by promoting osteoclast precursor, thereby increasing the level. Okay, so what they are doing, they promote the activation of osteoclast precursor. What they have to do, they have to increase the level of calcium. Are you getting? विटामिन डी को कैल्शियम का लेवल इंक्रीज करना है, तो वो कैसे इंक्रीज करता है? एक तो वो एब्जॉर्प्शन इंक्रीज करता है. ओके, सेकंड, it also acts like parathormone. Okay, it stimulates the osteoclast precursor so that they get converted into osteoclast and they start eating away the bone. Are you getting? So they are also activating the osteoclast activity. ताकि osteoclast activate हो जाए, it may cause the resorption of bone and the level of calcium may rise in the blood. So what you have to remember is vitamin D जो होता है, that is the calcitriol and parathormone, they are producing the same action in our body. Okay, दोनों का काम क्या है? They both are increasing the level of calcium in our blood. Understood? ये कैसे करता है? How vitamin D is increasing? By promoting or by activating the osteoclast precursor and by increasing the absorption of calcium from the intestine. Or how it is increasing the absorption of calcium from intestine? Just now we discussed, by increasing the number of calcium channel, by increasing or activating the receptors which are responsible for the transport of calcium. Okay, what is the use of vitamin D? First is nutritional deficiency. If a person is having deficiency of vitamin D, okay, osteomalacia, rickets. Now rickets, if you will see यहाँ पे, it is of three types. Okay, first it is mentioned as vitamin D resistant rickets, second is vitamin D dependent rickets, and the third is renal rickets. Okay, so what is vitamin D resistant ricket? Vitamin D resistant ricket, the name itself indicates, it is a X-linked hereditary disease. It is a genetic disorder, okay, which is linked to which chromosome? Which is linked to X. Okay, X chromosome से linked होता है. In this, see this, metabolism of vitamin D is proper. Okay, vitamin D का metabolism proper होता है, but the metabolism of calcium and phosphate is not proper. Understood all of you? इसलिए हम इसको क्या बोलते हैं? विटामिन डी रेजिस्टेंट रिकेट्स. यानी विटामिन डी की एक्टिविटी नॉर्मल है, मेटाबॉलिज्म नॉर्मल है, प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पे है? देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम इन मेटाबॉलिज्म ऑफ कैल्शियम एंड फॉस्फेट. ओके, एंड इट इज अ जेनेटिक डिसऑर्डर. So that is why it is called as the vitamin D resistant rickets. It is not occurring due to deficiency of vitamin D. Are you getting? That is why it is said as, it is called as vitamin D resistant rickets. Treatment, administration of phosphate with high doses of calcitriol is effective. Vitamin D dependent rickets, it is also a genetic disorder, but यहाँ पे क्या होता है? It occurs due to deficiency of a renal hydroxylating mechanism which converts 25OHD3 into calcitriol. So what is the meaning of that? यहाँ पे rickets क्यों होता है? Due to vitamin D. There is some problem with vitamin D. So what happens? All of you know that whenever you are taking vitamin D, it is first converted into active form, that is calcitriol. Okay. So what happens in vitamin D dependent rickets? There is a genetic deficiency of an enzyme. Okay, genetic deficiency of an enzyme is there, and because of that deficiency, vitamin D is not converted into the active form. And what is the active form? It is the calcitriol. और अगर एक्टिव फॉर्म में नहीं होगा, then it will not be producing its activity. Renal rickets means what? As I just told you, see this. यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है, इट इज अ जेनेटिक, विटामिन डी डिपेंडेंट रिकेट्स इज अ जेनेटिक डिसऑर्डर. ओके, इट अकर्स ड्यू टू डेफिशिएंसी ऑफ रीनल हाइड्रोक्सिलेटिंग मैकेनिज्म. यानी किडनी में जो हाइड्रोक्सिलेशन मैकेनिज्म होता है which is responsible for conversion of vitamin D into active form is not working properly and there is no formation of calcitriol. Okay, so suppose karo if a person is having some kidney disease, agar kidney disease is, then what will happen? Again the same thing will happen. The renal hydroxylating mechanism will not function properly and the conversion of vitamin D into calcitriol will not take place. Understood all of you? That is called as renal rickets. Next है postmenopausal age related, which is also called as senile osteoporosis. Why it is called as age related? Because what happens, it has been seen that with the increase in age, the absorption of calcium goes on decreasing. Okay, how will you treat this? You have to take vitamin D3 plus calcium. If the person is osteoporotic woman, if there is a woman who is menopausal and she is having osteoporosis, then you have to give the combination of vitamin D3 and calcium. Understood? Next is, if there is a person who is having established osteoporosis, एक तो केस हो गया आपका कि पोस्ट मेनोपॉजल वुमेन है और उसको ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस है, then you have to give vitamin D3 and calcium. But if there is a person who is having sustained osteoporosis, or you can say established osteoporosis, or you can say osteoporosis for prolonged period of time, then what will happen? This calcitriol is not effective in such patients. Okay, now next one is hypoparathyroidism. What is hypoparathyroidism? Hypoparathyroidism में क्या होगा? There is decrease in the release of parathormone. If the level of parathormone will be less, then what will happen? The level of calcium. Okay, parathormone का level अगर ज़्यादा, if the level of calcium is less, then parathormone उसको increase करता है. But if a person is suffering from hypoparathyroidism, or you can say there is decrease in the level of parathormone, then what will happen? See this, calcitriol are more effective than vitamin D2 or D3 in case of hypoparathyroidism because PTH is required for their activation. Okay, so this point you have to remember is that for activation of vitamin D, you require parathormone. So if there is a person उसको hypoparathyroidism है, it means the level of parathormone is less. So parathormone का quantity कम होगा तो vitamin D will not be activated. Are you getting? So that is why in this case also we are giving vitamin calcitriol. Understood? Fanconi syndrome. Vitamin D increases the phosphate level. Actually, Fanconi syndrome is a disease which is related with the tubules of our kidney. Okay, so as a result, what happens? The level of phosphate is less in our body in Fanconi syndrome. So if you are giving vitamin D, it increases the phosphate level because it increases the absorption of calcium and phosphate also. Now calcipotriol, it is a preparation which is used in psoriasis and skin cancer and immunological disorder. Okay, now there are two important drug interaction. One is liquid paraffin or cholestyramine. They reduce the absorption of vitamin D. So if you are using these agents, then they will reduce the absorption of vitamin D. Phenytoin and phenobarbital reduces the responsiveness of target tissue to calcitriol, and prolonged use can cause rickets or osteomalacia. What does that mean? Phenytoin and phenobarbital. Phenytoin is a drug used in epilepsy. Phenobarbital is a barbiturate. They reduce the responsiveness of target tissue to calcitriol. Means calcitriol is present, your tissue is there, but the tissue is not responding to the calcitriol. It is not able to utilize that calcitriol. Okay, and as a result, the person may suffer from rickets and osteomalacia if you are using these agents for prolonged period of time. Okay, so this is about vitamin D, calcitonin and calcium. I hope you have understood this. If you have any issue, you can ask me in the next lecture. Now in next lecture we will be doing the last part of this chapter, that is the biphosphonates, which are one of the very important anti-resorptive agent. Okay, most important anti-resorptive agent, they do not allow the resorption of the bone. वो bone का resorption नहीं होने देते. Okay, so this we will study in our next lecture. So thank you so much for your patient hearing.